Oh man. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is another episode of The Athletic Mentality. The Athletic Mentality actually presents Bear Dahn with Winnie. I am your play partner, host of the most, your country cousin, Sir Winnie the Bish. We're just going to talk about some sports today, dog. I kind of forgot my water, so I'm be on the be right back screen so I can go get that, but I'll be right back in just a second so I can go get some water. Hey, actually, breaking news on the basketball front. The Rockets and PJ Tucker have just parted ways. I forgot who broke the news. Um, I actually can't see who broke the news right now, but they just parted ways. PJ Tucker and the Rockets just parted ways, so that opens up that door for PJ Tucker to go and be a Los Angeles Laker, opening up that 3-point slot, kind of giving the Lakers more of a small ball feel. That's on the excuse me. Oh yeah, definitely the All Star game. We could talk about the All Star game for a second too, but yeah, let me go get some water. But that's just breaking news. That's crazy. All right, I'm back. All right, so check this out. Right, if you if you look at the stats though, Pluto with Dame and Steph, comparable, bro. And Dame has the upper hand in a sense just because he has more game-winning shots when it matters in playoff games and of that nature. Uh, a lot of the uh, a lot of Curry's big shots come in the regular season, and a lot of Dame's big shots come in the playoffs. So yeah, they're on different levels for sure, for sure, for sure. Both very great athletes. You know, Not knocking either one, but yeah, definitely. But yeah, we're here to talk about football, bro. Specifically, my favorite football team, the Chicago Bears. I've been a Chicago Bears fan since I was a child. Grew up watching that terrible ass team. We had a few good years, mainly before I was born, 1988. We won the Super Bowl with one of the best defenses of all time. We kind of have that same thing going right now, bro, with Khalil Mack and Akeem Hicks being able to um, kind of like change the landscape of the game. If Akeem Hicks can stay, um, off the injury list, and that's not a fault of his. That's what happens when you play the position he plays in the nose tackle. But if he could get like healthy enough to play a full season, which now is going to be 17 games. Khalil Mack demands a double team. He's still a game changer, game wrecker. Kyle Fuller is really great. The young cornerback that we have, Johnson, on the opposite side. Hopefully this year he kind of looks back on the film that he had on the past season, bro, and sees that he can't bite at the first route. Yeah, jumping the route's really hard on certain slants, but people are going to start reading and be able to pick you off. So hopefully next season he doesn't bite on as many short slants and the sluggos. I got a little list, man, because I wanted to talk about the things like and actually have like these things in my head, and these are just like hot topics that sports people have been the pundits and the sports heads, and a lot of the Chicago columns that I read have been talking about. So to start off, there is a huge rumor, of course, that Russell Wilson and Team 3 have been very upset up in Seattle here in the Pacific Northwest, and he named off a few teams, I think 4 teams that he actually would want to go to and play for if he was to get traded from the Seattle Seahawks. And the Bears ended up being on that list along with the Raiders, the Cowboys, and I can't think of the other team right now at the top of my head. But it would be, for me, it would be super cool to have a player of Russell Wilson's caliber in Chicago, even though I think he's hella corny. I'd love to have him on our team just because it will help us out. We haven't had a franchise quarterback in 70 years, and we just saw that the NFL celebrated 100 years of being in the NFL, bro. So for 30 years, we've kind of had decent quarterbacks, but for 70 years, we have not had a legit franchise quarterback. We had Jay Cutler. He was pretty boo-boo. And on the back end of his career, being a Illinois native, he really didn't care too much and didn't show that he cared too much. Our defense really got us to the Super Bowl, and Devin Hester being able to return the punts that he did. So we didn't have much when it came to success at the quarterback. It's always been the running game that's helped us out. Matt Forte, Walter Payton, God rest his soul, and things of that nature, bro. So right now, with David Montgomery being the bell cow that he is, and showing that even after getting injured and coming back off of the injury reserve, he can go to work and be a damn beast. I feel like right now we really don't necessarily need to go out and get a guy like Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson, especially if it means we have to kind of like mortgage off our future like we have before. We already are coming back off of having bad trade deals to get one really good player, one really ass player in Mitchell Trubisky. We traded up a lot to get Mitchell Trubisky to trade up one spot to pick him with players like Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes being in the draft. Hindsight being 2020, you still don't pick that motherfucking Mitchell Trubisky at that pick. We had the 3rd overall pick in the draft. You kind of like pick somebody who can, that's a franchise changer at that moment. Like that is somebody that at that moment with the 3rd overall pick, you pick a quarterback. You want to pick a guy like Joe Burrow. You know what I'm saying? You want to get a guy that is, low-key Jared Goff. Matthew Stafford. You want to get a guy that you can ride out with. Matt Ryan, one of those like, if he gonna suck, bro, he's still gonna give you like 4,000 yards, you know what I'm saying? And if you can build a good defense, you might have a chance to be a playoff contender. You know what I'm saying? And our defense got us to the playoff just a few years back, to the NFC Championship game damn near. If it wasn't for a bad kick, we would have been in an NFC Championship game, and that was with bummy ass Mitchell Trubisky and having that great defense that was just, again, game changers, bro. So I don't know if we necessarily need to mortgage off our future by giving up three first round draft picks because we don't have the capital. You know what I'm saying? We don't got the young players that, every other team could offer, or the multitude of second and third round picks, fourth, fifth round picks that they can add on to a first round pick. Excuse me, a la like the Jets or somebody like that. If they wanted to actually go out and get um, Russell Wilson, they could just do a straight across trade like Sam Darnold and Russell Wilson, and we'll give you our second. You know what I'm saying? Because they have a deeper pick in the first round where they won't be risking too much. Right now, Chicago already has like too bad of a salary cap. We really don't need to be doing anything to fuck that up. We need to be giving away a lot of players and taking some dead cap for this year and then being great next season. So that's just topic one, man. I don't think we mortgage our future off for a player like Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson, even though they both are black quarterbacks, and I really want a black quarterback in Chicago. I feel like there's other ways we can do that, and I'll talk about that kind of later on when we get into the draft process or draft part of the podcast. Next, we'll go over and talk about the front office and what I feel like is best for our front office. See, Ryan Pace is he was known for his building of a team in Kansas City. He went out and hired Andy Reid when he got fired from Philadelphia, and he went out and got Alex Smith when he saw him getting kicked to the curb when Colin Kaepernick was doing his thing. He built from the outside in, defensive line, offensive line, and then worked out with weapons, doing smart things like that. So he got a job in Chicago based off of that, along with Matt Nagy, because he hired Matt Nagy as his guy because Matt Nagy was in that same Andy Reid tree. And coming into it as a fan, I saw it and I was super excited because Ryan Pace is a hustler. I fuck with that. Matt Nagy had the RPO system coming to like a fold. You saw it at the end of, I think it was the 2017, 2016 season, something like that, when Patrick Mahomes started to become a good player. Andy Reid and Alex Smith started to run a good system. Matt Nagy gets hired, and he ran that RPO system there. So you looking at it, you kind of look at it as a fan, like how I did, and you're super excited for what the future might hold. And then the big trade that we do get, and the big splash that we do make in order to like make ourselves like a presence in the NFC North, which is ran by guys like Matthew Stafford and Aaron Rodgers, who's a fucking beast at the quarterback position. We go and get Khalil Mack. We gave up a lot for him, but we go get Khalil Mack, and instantly he becomes a game changer. My guy, like not bullshitting. Sack, fumble, strip sack, interception, all in the first game. And he injured Aaron Rodgers enough to where we kind of had a chance until he limped his ass back into the second half of that game. Kind of fucking hate Aaron Rodgers sometimes, bro, but he's a cool ass dude. Watching him on Pat McAfee, he's a cool ass dude now. You know what I'm saying? But so this is their make or break year. So a lot of people are saying that Ryan Pace is going to eventually go out and do something insane, like give up 3 future first round picks to get a guy like Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson, and in order to kind of save face and save his ass. The rumors that you hear that in order for us to get Russell Wilson, we'd have to give up those 3 first round picks and give up Khalil Mack, which kind of doesn't make sense because Khalil Mack and the defense is kind of what is keeping us in the hunt, and you don't want to give up that presence and that the only consistent thing that we do have in order to get a quarterback, again, somebody or something that you can get in this upcoming draft if you can develop on the right way instead of bullshitting and getting a 3rd round pick in the fucking 1st round. So if Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy don't work out this year, I don't know who we bring in as GM, but I do believe we, as in the Chicago Bears front office, should seriously think about bringing in Eric Bieniemy as a head coach possibility, just because of who he is and what he's done in Kansas City. He's developed Patrick Mahomes into the player that he is. So if we get a good young quarterback who can run that RPO system, make some plays with his legs, um, he might be able to develop that or build a staff around that could develop that kid in a sense, or whoever we get at the quarterback position. Moving on, free agency is going to be coming upon us, things of that nature. I really don't know who is out there. Yeah, shake all those out. Shake them all the way out. Like, or get like a plate or something. Get like a plate or something and shake them all out. So I don't know like the free agents that's really out there, but I know a couple that are decent enough in positions that we do need. So in the sense of like offensive tackles, we should get one of the guys from Kansas City, like Eric Fisher, who can be a right or left tackle, but he's coming off an Achilles injury just 2 months ago. So a lot of people probably won't be suiting him. He might be a guy that we can give like a prove it deal to. 1 2 year deal for a cheap amount of money. Hopefully he proves himself, and then we go out and make a big splash in the draft and get somebody who's comparable, right? Or we get Trent Williams if we can get under the salary cap. Trent Williams just got like I think released by the San Francisco 49ers. He's kind of getting up in age, but what we do know about Trent Williams is that he kind of holds down that left side, which we necessarily don't need help on the left side, but we can fill in the right side if we have somebody on the left side. We can just fill in the right side for help. Um, I don't know of any receivers or tight ends or running backs that we need to get. Again, I believe in Allen Robinson. I think we need to give him a big deal instead of franchise tagging him. We still got a chance to. Um, I think I'm gonna make a lot of people mad if they see this dog and say that if we use Tariq Cohen as trade bait during the draft, we might be able to pick up a decent second or third rounder. Just because I feel like David Montgomery needs to be the sole focus of our offense. Like we don't need to be using like trick plays or scheme plays. Kind of go back to bare bones football, like run that ball and West Coast football, that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like if we could get a slot receiver that is in a sense Tariq Cohen, but 2 or 3 inches taller, that makes a lot more sense to me. But he's an NFL player. And I mean, no bullshit when I say this, bro, but in the sense of NFL players, he's light in the ass. He's for real. He's light in the ass. He's 5'8", 5'7", something like that. A buck 30, buck 50. That's like me, cuz like I'm 6'3", a buck 60. Put me back 6'2", buck 60. Put me back there. You know what I'm saying? If you need somebody, put me in the slot. And I'm cheap. I'll play for free because it's the hometown. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, but no, like seriously, it's just like there's not a lot out there that we could really get because we don't have a lot of money, and we do need offensive tackle positions. So we need to utilize the draft and actually hit on a lot of the positions that are there. So with that being said, we're gonna move into who I think the Bears personally should draft. We have so our first round pick is 28th. Second round pick is the 52nd. Our third round picks, we have the 31st, the 99th, and the 107th. Our fourth pick is the 121st. Fifth pick is 166th, and then our sixth round pick is 205th. And then we have two comp picks in the sixth round also. So me, I think that with the first round pick, if he's still available, we get Alex Leatherwood, who is the offensive tackle / center out of Alabama. The kid is nice. He has a mean streak. He knows how to like control the line. He's a 4-year starter. So these are the type of things that you need to get. You need to get these nasty guys. And again, that's if he's available. If he's not available, then we try to get. I'm gonna try not to butcher his name, and I don't just want to say his last name, but I think it's Elijah. Oh yeah, it's Elijah. I'm over here trying to say it like it's Muslim. Elijah Vera Tucker out of USC. Also, he kind of has like moments where he has that mean streak. He can push. He's also a right or a left tackle, so it kind of makes sense to pick up one of those guys. In the second pick, I think we get if he's available, we pick up Kadarius Tony, and that's what I'm saying. If we can trade away Tariq Cohen, we get Kadarius Tony, who is that like shifty slot receiver, like utility weapon, kind of a la Tyreek Hill that everybody keeps trying to replicate. I think he's a very very decent weapon, and with him being such a dope weapon, I don't think he'll be available to us. But I do think that that's somebody that we need to be looking at in the sense of like players to pick up because it makes sense for us too. The third round, we pick up another offensive tackle, Dylan Dylan Radnus Radinez Dylan Radinez, the offensive tackle out of North Dakota. North Dakota. I think he'll be available. Proven winner. He knows how to control pace. He knows how to get his hands physical. He knows how to get dirty. I like the kid. If he's not available, then we get the linebacker from Bama, Dylan Moses, who I think might go to a team like the Broncos or the Jacksonville Jaguars earlier in the third round. So it's kind of like if he falls to us, we pick him up. Fourth, or like with the other picks, we could pick up Quinn Marinez, who's a outside, offensive line slash center. Also, we could pick up Spencer Brown, who's an offensive tackle out of Northern Iowa. Uh, it's just like it's so many different like offensive tackles that are around. So I think if we focus on protecting our future quarterback, who I'm about to bring up in just a second, and if we get some like run blocking for David Montgomery, I think those things right there kind of solidify how we can make our defense control pace, or excuse me, our defense world breakers, and then we control pace on the offensive end with the run game, some smooth RPOs thrown in there with a quick decision with the slot receivers, with Allen Robinson who can get the ball. And if we need to drop back and throw a deep bomb, we don't just need to be focused on trying to get Allen Robinson the ball or Mooney. If we have Kadarius Tony there, that's somebody that we could send up deep because he's that speed threat. Send him on a crossing route. It's going to be very difficult to stop a guy with that speed. Now, with a quarterback in mind, I think we wait until later rounds because he'll be available. He has really good size. He ran an RPO system at Wake Forest. Jamie Newman, who also transferred to Georgia, but he ran the RPO system at Wake Forest, and I think with that, he kind of set himself up for the NFL because he has that Russell Wilson size, and if you take away kind of the RPO, he was still ranked 10th when it came to passer efficiency in the player fantasy football rankings, and I think he was like 10th with an 88.4 with like his passer style. It's just amazing what the kid can do. He was kind of undervalued because he transferred, and Georgia had that kind of battle with the two quarterbacks. So a lot of other quarterbacks are getting hyped up. You know, the guy from BYU, the Trey Lance kid. They're saying Trey Lance should go to Atlanta over Justin Fields, which is insane to me. But a lot of those quarterbacks are getting hyped up, so he might be a player that's available later in the draft, or you can kind of develop the same way that you would a la Russell Wilson. Because if you get a quarterback in the second or third round, he's cheaper. He's going to make more sense because he's developed, he's hungry, so he's going to work harder. And then you bring in a vet like Alex Smith or Ryan Fitzpatrick in order to like be a stopgap or somebody who can like help him during the process of like getting to where he should be. Later, other than that, man, I really don't have too much about it, but I really do think that these are some things that I would like to see as a Chicago Bears fan. It's like the DeMarcus Cousins meme, man. It's getting ridiculous. Like, I hope everybody sees what's going on out here. Like, a lot of teams are making trades. A lot of people are doing the right things, and Chicago isn't. So it's getting ridiculous, and I hope a lot of people see that. Yeah, man, I think I'm going to end up doing these every Thursday instead of streaming. I'm gonna do do like a football basketball talk, just because for me it's fun. It's things that I enjoy doing. Again, it's something that me and my homeboys actually have. This is kind of what started the whole me getting on stream, and the dad stream started because me and my homeboy Troy and my other and our homeboy Josh kind of started doing podcasts together and putting them out. So now it's individuals. So we have the Twitter, the main Twitter that's run by Troy is at the AM Sports Talk. That's the name that's in the title. So I think that it's going to be a point in time, bro, where these are going to be going up on YouTube because I have to wait 24 hours after I do this before I post it. But this is going on our YouTube. You can funnel it all through our Twitter page. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. I am your player party host with the most, your country cousin. This has been a Bear Dahn version of the athletic mentality. I think I actually have a real outro for that. This is the athletic mentality presents Bear Dahn with your host Winnie the Bish. So I appreciate you guys for being up in here, man. I know this is kind of different. Most people probably looking like, what the fuck is this? I didn't tune in to Bishop to do this, but I appreciate the people who did tune in. I'm going to be streaming every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, dropping videos on YouTube every Tuesday and Thursdays. Sometimes on Saturdays, I'm going to be streaming. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you decided to rock out with me. I appreciate that, and I love you guys. Make sure you tell somebody that you love them. Peace.